What's up, folks? We are back again. We are so back again. And so are they. So are they. They're always at it. They are always busy. They are always at it. That's you got to give them credit. You honestly have to give these people credit. They never stop. The grind never stops. The destruction and the chaos never stops for these people. You know, some of us, we take up hobbies and we get bored of them. New Year's Eve comes around and we all do our New Year's resolutions and we decide we're going to do this. And then a week later, we're already bored. But these people, you got to hand it to them. They never get bored. They never get bored vandalizing. They never get bored curb stomping. And they never get bored of destroying Western civilization. They're host countries, the host countries that were silly enough to allow them in. They never get tired of it. So credit where credit is due. What's up, folks? Welcome back to the show. We got to discuss some cultural enrichers today. I found some quality videos on the internet. They might not consider that so, but I consider it great case study in what we are dealing with. Maybe possibly why our culture is denigrated so much. Because in this American society, for some reason, it's ingrained within us to uplift the less worthy and to suppress the most worthy. The intellectual, the talented, the gifted, the people who actually go to work, pay their taxes, are what you would think model citizens. They're suppressed. They are intentionally denied access to certain things. They're discriminated against. Really, when you think about it, especially if you are WHITE, if that's the case, you're really, truly cooked, despite the fact that you built this country and your ancestors sweated, bled for, and died for this country. But it doesn't matter, because the left's deserving. We should place them on a pedestal, and everyone else, everyone else can screw off as far as they're concerned. The powers that be that govern us all. The powers that be that truly run the world. Everyone else is a marionette, I think, on their strings. But anyway, let's get into some of these videos. Here's one right here. This is a cultural enricher, and she thought it was a perfectly good idea to throw a drink at a police officer, an officer of the law. And she thought that was perfectly acceptable. Why wouldn't I throw a drink at an officer of the law? And then on top of that, I expect you not to chase me down, not to tackle me, and not to arrest me for assaulting an officer of the law. Of course, if you or I did that, because there's been plenty of times when I've been annoyed. I've gotten a $200 seatbelt ticket here, a $600 speeding ticket there if you count court costs and all of that. And never at one time has it crossed my mind to throw a drink at an officer. Why not? Not because the rage wasn't there. The rage was certainly there. But A, I am civilized. B, I know that I would go to jail if I did that. So there's some pretty good reasons why I wouldn't want to do that. But that's not how these people think of it. They think they can assault police officers and get away with it. And then the crowd, of course, is horrified that the officer did his job.
And then you were taking pictures of us, and then you were taking pictures of me. You're not even an officer, you're just a no-life ass bitch. Right? Like, what are you doing here? Like, what? But you want somebody driving on your family member? Right.
Yo, what the fuck? Fucking bodies! Oh, shoot through it. Fuck you! Fuck you!
So this happened in, what's it called, Canopolis? I don't know how to pronounce that, North Carolina. Yeah, and don't you just love the outrage? Isn't that funny? Isn't that just beautiful to see the outrage? She's allowed to throw a drink, and I will hand it to her, it was a good shot. Wait, my volume is way low. She's allowed to throw a drink at an officer's head. That could have anything in it, by the way. With all the Muslims that we're having imported here, it could have been acid for all we know. But that's perfectly fine. That's acceptable. And then they're like, he did it first. What? He was literally just sitting there smiling at them. And by the way, Do not sleep on Southern men, okay? He was waiting for this. This is like every Southern guy who has his shotgun in his house and he hears like a possum on the porch or the slightest noise and he's like, it's like that meme. He can grab the gun and they're like, oh my gosh, it's finally here, okay? So you could tell in his face that he was like, bring it on, bring it on. And she did. And she, along with the entire crowd, decided that he's in the wrong and that they can just, you know, start screaming and piling on like the rabble that they are. Another thing that I'll notice is protests, I've noticed, is just an excuse for a lot of these people to come out and destroy society. They don't care about the cause. Do you think that little Mexican from Mexico gives a shit about Palestinians? Do you really think that's what's going on? Or do you think she just hates American society and she would join any rally, whether it was a BLM rally, whether it was an anti-Trump rally, whether it was a pro-Hillary rally, an anti-Hillary rally, a pro-Palestine rally, a pro-Israel rally? These people are opportunists. This is what we're dealing with. People like to intellectualize immigration and immigrants, and they want to think, well, you know what? They're actually coming here and they want to assimilate. No, they aren't. No, they aren't, actually. There's no better reason that they want to come here and take your shit. That's pretty much how you should view immigration. Maybe there's 1% who comes here and they're so patriotic, but 99.9% of them are just here to take your shit and take your country. Okay? I'm sorry to break it to you, but that's how it actually is. And these same kind of people come to these rallies, and it's just an opportunity for them to scream and throw a fit and try to destroy Western civilization, because that's what they hate. They hate it because they're jealous of it. They're jealous of it because they come from third world countries, and despite their best attempts, despite the millions of dollars that are funneled into these countries to help them in their development, they continue to stay the same. It's like those memes where you see a picture of Africa in 12 BC and a picture of Africa today, and it's like a mud hut, okay? I'm sorry, I can't help that you are a shitty culture. Or is that my fault? So they see our civilization, they see the stuff we've created, and they're jealous of that. They hate that because it reminds them of everything they are not and could never be. Anyway, on that note, one thing you can be is you can be great. You can be optimal. In a time, in a day and age, when we have super predators coming in, this is the time to be an optimal human. Boom. Right there. This show is brought to you by Optimal Human, by the way. This is one of the great products that they sent me in a massive box that came in the mail, which, by the way, I wish Amazon shipping was as good as their shipping. They like overnighted it. Like, I pay for Amazon Prime, and there's never the option to overnight things. That really pisses me off. Optimal Human, by the way, I take this every day. I hate taking vitamins. For some reason, whenever I swallow pills and vitamins, it makes me feel like I'm dying. I've never been able to do it. Never. But I do like this because it's like vitamins, everything you need in a scoop. So I take a little scoop of this. Optimal Human. I actually like doing ads for these guys because these are some real ass okay? These guys have been the real ones from day one. So even if you don't even want any Optimal Human, which I don't know why you wouldn't, you should go and support them just because they're great dudes. One of them's a J6er. Awesome people. So you can unlock comprehensive wellness with a single daily dose of Optimal Human. One little scoop. This formula is potent and balanced, blending earthy mushrooms, vibrant superfoods, and zesty adaptogens. Never hire me to do an ad read, by the way. Adaptogens packed with 90 plus ingredients like lion's mane, ashwagandha for whole body support, and designed for effortless everyday vitality. And here are the benefits, folks. It helps with digestion and bloating. So a lot of times you'll think you're fat, but you're not actually fat, you're just bloated. And this is actually a fact, or at least that's what I tell myself. It's natural energy. You see why I'm so energetic? I do 14 shows a week. 14 shows a week. One of my shows takes all day to do, and I can continue doing it because I'm on Optimal Human. Immunity and detox, that's the other benefit. Detoxing your body of heavy metals. Heavy metals, folks, that get in your you know where. It also helps with brain health. This is why I'm so brilliant on all my shows, because I am on Optimal Human every day. So go to Optimal Human today and get you some Optimal Human super drink and become the optimal human to face these super predators that are entering our country. Okay, I've got Optimal Human on my mouth now. It's actually great. And I'll include a link below, by the way, so you can get it through my affiliate link so that they get paid, that I get paid, and that you get healthy. Okay, moving on here. Let's see this other... Let's take a look at Zimbabwe. This is a footage from Zimbabwe. This is what happens when you live in Africa. This is why I would never move to Africa. I always thought it would be cool to go to Africa on like a safari or something. But after seeing this video, I think I'm going to pass on the trip to Africa.
Don't look at me crazy. I like it. I think it's cool.
So turns out that's actually not in Africa. That's in America. Yes, Zimbabwe is here, folks. Zimbabwe is here. Africa! Africa is America now. Turns out you don't actually have to go to Africa on safari. Africa is here. Don't you love that? Don't you love that no longer, you don't have to pay for holidays anymore. You don't have to pay for vacations. Why would you do that? Go to the South if you want Viva la Mexico. Go to Detroit if you want Viva la Africa. Go to New York City if you want Little China. Chinatown. Go up to Dearborn, Michigan if you would like to visit the Middle East. I should just start doing cultural tours. Well, I'm going to buy a big bus, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take people around the country, and we're just, it'll be marketed as visit the world without having to pay for it. Visit the world on half the money it would cost you to actually go around the world. We'll take you up to Dearborn. We'll take you all over the country so you can see the different cultures, all from the comfort of your own lands. Yes, that's brought to you, folks, by the I'm so energized because I've been drinking Optimal Human. It is true, actually. Okay. So now that we got to visit a little bit of Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe's finest, let's take a look at what the rest of Africa's finest has been up to. 3 suspects, 125 combined arrests. So these are 3 of the girls who have been murdered this year. And those are the people who did the crimes. And like it says, 125 combined arrests. By the way, those are the arrests prior to the murderings, to the slayings of these beautiful young ladies here. So doesn't that make you a little concerned about the direction that our country's going? Or maybe the direction, or maybe rather, where our legal system is at? Like, don't you think prosecutors who allow these people, repeat offenders, to just go back out onto the street, don't you think maybe they should face some consequences like fines or maybe prison time themselves? Don't you think maybe these families should be able to go back and sue in civil court judges who allowed super predators, super criminals, repeat offenders to have some consequences? How is that allowed? Like, by the way, not to get back onto the traffic incidences, but if you and I get a minor speeding ticket and we have to go to court, like say we're going 20 over, which by the way is not the end of the world. Say you're going 20 over, Sunday morning going to church, Monday afternoon coming home, or going home to on your lunch break, whatever. If you don't show up on that court date, they'll issue a warrant for your arrest for breaking the speed limit. And this isn't you with prior arrest. This isn't you with a warrant out for you. This isn't you with your driver's license expired, your tags expired, no insurance. This is you clean as a whistle. You just happen to not look at your speedometer for 5 minutes and you went a little fast. But these people, 125 combined arrests, that's perfectly okay. Nothing wrong with that. Let's just let these people continue to roam the streets so that, well, the victims can pile up. The victims can pile up. And remember their faces, all of their faces, by the way. So when they tell you that you're wrong and racist because you crossed the other side of the street when you see some of these engineers and doctors, I would say don't really care because I'd rather be racist than dead.